Buttercup. And whoever's watching this, she's not sleeping on trash. It just happens to be a messy area because this is actually where we keep bags and things like that. But that's where she's resting, so I figured I'd shoot this video. It's almost 2 o'clock and we have to leave around then, a little before then, to meet the new family. They're a wonderful fit for both of them, and I love you guys so much. It's really hard to give them up, but unfortunately I can't keep them. I'm keeping the 18-year-old, TC, and TC, I miss you very much. And when I go back home, I will shoot videos of her. This is just like a new thing I'm catching on to, and the thing is, it's really easy to do. I love YouTube, and I'm just learning about Facebook now. Social media is great, and if you use it responsibly and in a fun way, but responsible, you can use it to share ideas and to make connections with people about so many important issues, not just personal. And so I hope whoever's watching just sees and can feel the love that that many people do have about animals. Of course, we cherish humans even more, but animals can become like a part of our family. And I know I'm not the only one like this. There's lots of people out there, but unfortunately there's lots of people who abuse animals too, or who neglect them, or who just turn them out as a stray on the street because they don't want to take the time to bring them back to some place or try to put them in a shelter. And when you're putting ads on Craigslist, thankfully there's people who watch out for those ads, and they send you warnings by email or what have you, because based on their experience, or they work with rescue. So to people watching this on YouTube or whatever you're watching it on, Facebook, just know that Craigslist is a good place to do a lot of sharing and trying to promote things and trying to sell or do something. But I noticed there's a lot of pet ads, and that's what gave me the idea to post. But I did get a helpful hint via email from a rescue that warned me about it can also be a potentially dangerous place, just because you're dealing not with an object but something that's breathing, that's living, and that's very vulnerable. So to all of you on Craigslist and other mediums who want to, for whatever reason it is, and I totally sympathize or empathize with it, just do it responsibly. And if you're going to put it on Craigslist, yes, you want to put a rehoming fee to make sure that someone can at least afford. It's sort of like a measure that, yes, someone can afford it, even if you have to come down a little bit. You don't have to sell it for, I mean, not sell, but put a rehoming price for an exorbitant price, because in all reality right now things are tough, and just because someone has difficulty with a rehoming fee doesn't necessarily mean that they can't afford the pet, the upkeep. But never do it for free. And as I was instructed to, or kind of coached into it, you want to develop some type of application. I'm actually really proud of the application I did, and I used the pause one, which is only 2 pages. Mine turned out to be a lot more, but that's because I had formatting issues, and it was much easier for me to use a chart. And then I put pictures of the cats in there, and then I did a separate acknowledgement form, which was I kind of combined the ideas of how pause and act Philly, so I put it together. Or I did 2 separate documents. So thank you, Pause, and thank you, Act Philly, for your straightforward applications, and I kind of modified it. But if I didn't have that, it would have made it more tough. And I made it very easy, nothing difficult, and that's really about it. But the fact is, before I had those and I posted on Craigslist, the responses I were getting were you don't know who you're dealing with, and if people don't want to take the time, at least someone who fills out the application and does it serious and actually sends it back ASAP, it really is the first thing that stands out about the person, that they're really serious. And then the rehoming fee. And if they're willing to take in both, that's even better. And if they are willing to do that upon your request, and even if it doesn't work out and they're still willing to foster, that's great until you can find someone else for the other cat. But I think it'll work out with both cats, and I'm really thrilled about this person. It seems to be a great fit, and it's going to be a home instead of an apartment, so that's awesome. And the cats are going to be allowed on the furniture, and I'm just so excited for them, because they're going to have it better than what they have now. They have something great, and but I really wanted them to be in a home, and I wanted them to be kept together. So when I see ads on Craigslist, just if you're thinking of giving up a pet, or you have to, I understand again, but try to consult with rescue agencies. That would be really helpful. And there is, I believe, without looking, it's it's Helping Hand Rescue. They work through Craigslist, and they're kind of a watchdog. So again, don't sell kittens or dogs, not sell, but don't offer them for free. I was initially going to do that, and I know we're not really interested in the money aspect, but it also kind of sets the tone for who's going to be able to reply and who wants to reply. And there have been stories, and not stories, but actual real life events that where people have gotten a free cat, and actually, they could use them, and it sounds really terrible, but as dissection for they could be used in experiments, experimental testing, and they can also be for someone who unfortunately is cruel to animals. Well, that's an easy telltale sign, and you can't go by a person's appearance. But little things like filling out an application, putting all the information, agreeing to do certain things, even a home visit, that's a great sign of someone who would be a potentially great owner. And that's really about it. And like I said on Jasper's final video, I will say on Buttercup Bubbles' final video that pause. They have 3 different locations. They have one in North 2nd Street, and where I got my beloved Nugget. They also have a new one in Northeast Philly. And they have one. They have another one, their wellness center in Graceberry. So just look them up on the internet. It's www.phillypaws.org. Nugget, I hope you find someone. I will work creating flyers and keeping the Craigslist posting, renewing it every 2 days. I'll keep it up. I only wish I had more videos of you, Nugget. But I love you, TC. I love you so much, Nugget. And I love you. I love you, Bubbles. And I love you, Jasper, so much. But of course, I love my human family much more. I mean, more. But people who love animals and who work in rescues, I'm sure you really can connect with me right now that the pets become a part of your family. And to people at Act Philly, thank you for all that you do. And I know it's not your fault that animals get put down. What can you do when you get 30,000 approximately animals every year at the city shelters? Of course, you have to make those tough choices. And to future adopters, please don't count out seniors. And I don't consider Nugget a senior as an 8-year-old or any cat in that range. I consider seniors, truly seniors, really 15 and above, 12 and above. But I have an 18-year-old tuxedo cat, TC. I got her from Act Philly, and I'm so thankful I did. And I cherish the time we have together. And if she needed medicine, I would get it for her. But she was the cat I chose because I really saved her life. Unfortunately, on the checklist of the animals we can keep, at shelters, and we can't. You have to make those tough decisions. And if you have to save a life, if you have to choose between putting down an animal that's 18 who's lived a long life, and between a kitten or a puppy or some, unfortunately, often it's going to be the 18-year-old that pays the price, or the older cat. And if an animal is shy, to anyone out there, please know that the shy animals often hide in the back of the cages, and so they're the last to be noticed. Don't count out the shy animals. Don't count out the really elderly animals. Don't count out the special needs, whether it's touching, whether it's... Just don't count them out, because if you can afford the medication, if you can work with an animal, it's worth it. I work so hard with Jasper. Like I said, he was supposedly untrainable, but with the right person, you can really make a difference. He still has pawing issues, but he makes up for that in so many other ways. And Nugget, I am going to inform people about hyperthyroidism, and on your Craig's listing, I put a link up there for medication, because there is discounted, and at the PCSPCA, they actually have $20 for a 30-day supply, which, if you look at human medicine, I mean, people can get prescriptions even with insurance. It costs $20, $30 depending on what the medication is, so it's really the equivalent of human medication. Like I said, there are supposedly perfect kittens, and people want to get them when they're kittens, but there's so many animals out there. Just be responsible and think about it, what's going to go into a pet. And actually, not a lot goes into it, just love and just being able to afford litter. And I'm not plugging Walmart at all. I really don't like to support them, only because it's a huge chain, and I like to give mom and pop stores, the small businesses, more business, especially the ones that do wonderful work for animals. So that's why I try to plug them. But if you're on a tight budget, yes, Walmart, you can get special kitty litter for around a bag of 50, I mean, not 50, but 25, 30 pounds. It varies. You can get it for $4 and some change. You can also get Meow Mix. You can get Friskies. You can get them a little bit cheaper than you can at other stores. So maybe that'll make the difference. And what else? And just try to visit Morris Animal Refuge, Act Philly, Paws. And right now, I can't think of the last big one, the PSPCA. And they're all in Philadelphia, but there's tons of rescues out there, tons that you can find on Pet Finder in Philadelphia. If you Google them, don't count those out either. And City of Elderly Love, thank you so much for all that you do. What would we do without you? And I intend to be active in rescue groups, connecting with them and trying to work to make this world a little bit better. And with every volunteer, whether it's at a shelter or working with groups and advertising, being a spokesperson, even a video like this and uploading it, I hope it helps to make a difference in the way you interpret things and you view things when it comes to helping animals. We can't help everyone, and we certainly need to do our part in connecting humans and human welfare, but I always think to myself that animals can't speak and humans can. They speak in their own way, but not in the language of humans, where we can understand them perfectly and clearly. We merely interpret their feelings. And so, One more thing, Buttercup was deemed too much responsibility. Honestly, she's not at all. In fact, you can see from this, she's actually a piece of cake. Actually, she's the piece of cake. Jasper's the challenge with his paw. But look at this. So easy to handle. And the thing is, she knows how adorable she is. She was just in a bag before, a cloth bag, and she plays. So YouTube, America, Philadelphia, I love you so much, and let's work together to make this a better world for animals. One day, one step at a time, and one paw at a time. Signing out. Goodbye.